Hey folks, thanks for watching our Wednesday night devotional. If you got a Bible close by, please turn to Proverbs chapter 15. And if you've been watching these, you know I've been doing a little series on taming the tongue. And last week we looked at Proverbs 15 and 1 that says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And you remember I was out here, I had a kind of a symbol of a water and a gas bucket that you can throw gas on something to make it worse, or you can throw water on something by how you respond, your words, your attitude, and you can make it, calm down and die down. Today, what I'm doing today is similar today. I've got here today a bottle of Coca-Cola, and I've got a bottle of water, and we're going to use these as illustrations of how we respond to stressful or negative situations in our life, how we respond when we get shaken up. When we get shaken up or caught off guard or irritated, let's ask ourselves the question, how do we respond to that? Well, let's look down in Proverbs 15:1. Again, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Now, verse 18, it says, a hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel. Now I want you to flip back to chapter 14, just right before this. Proverbs 14 and 17 says, a quick-tempered person does foolish things. And then in verse 29 it says, whoever is patient has great understanding, but he who is quick-tempered displays folly. It has nothing to do with a feeling there. It has to do with wisdom and understanding. When we go through stressful times or negative situations, it says a patient person has great understanding. He may not feel patient, but he has the understanding to keep his feelings under control. And, we all face trials. We all have things that irritate us or that catch us off guard or that rattle our cage or that shake us up. Even pastors face these things. I was reading a little devotional book that I read from time to time, and it tells a story of a pastor down in Texas. He was going to speak at a minister's conference. Now, doesn't that sound spiritual? But he was running late. His alarm didn't go off that morning. He cut himself while he was shaving. There was lots of blood everywhere. And then as he was getting dressed, the dry cleaners hadn't pressed his shirt right. And when he left the hotel, he was running late. He found out he had a flat tire, so he was rushing around trying to go out there and change that flat tire. And then he goes back in to clean up. And then he gets back in his car, takes off flying down the road. And a policeman finds him and pulls him over. Well, by that time, this pastor was completely aggravated and frustrated. The policeman pulls him over, and the pastor gets out of the car and runs back to the policeman and says, well, just go ahead and give me a ticket. Everything else has gone wrong today anyway. Well, the policeman quietly got out of his car and walked up to him and said, sir, and he didn't know he was a pastor. He said, sir, I used to have days like that before I became a Christian. So, well, probably neither one of them responded very well, but, we all have days when we get shaken up. Maybe somebody says something that hurts your feelings, or maybe somebody negatively responds to you on social media. There's a lot of that. People having negative feedback on social media, or, maybe you get charged too much something at a restaurant or a store, or, maybe somebody cuts you off in traffic and just shakes you up inside and gets you irritated and aggravated. How do you respond when you get shaken up? We're going to compare today the Coke and the water. What's going to happen when I open this Coke after it gets shaken up? Look out, Trotter. Oh, man. It just explodes, And, but let's look at how the water happens. I can shake this water all day. I can throw it up in there. I can do whatever to it. You know what? When I open this water, nothing. It's just calm. It's just at peace. No explosion. So I want to ask you, do you respond like Coke, or do you respond like water when you get shaken up? In Proverbs 14 It says, whoever is patient has great understanding, but one who is quick-tempered displays folly. Again in 15 and 18 says, a hot-tempered person stirs up conflict, but the one who is patient calms a quarrel. So, remember when we started this series, I quoted James 1:19, where he said, everyone should be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. So as I finish up this little devotional, I want to challenge you. When you get shaken up in life, be sure you respond with God's strength like water, with a calm and a patient spirit, instead of exploding like a bottle of Coke. Hope you remember this little illustration. Have a good evening.